Hello everyone, welcome to the weekly Purple Penny coin news video. My name is Mark. I own and run the Purple Penny along with my wife Catherine, who's right here today, special
Hello.
guest today. Welcome Catherine, glad that you could join in with us today.
Thank you.
Apologies that we didn't get a video up last week, I just couldn't manage it, I'm afraid. We have had a very busy week this week, much busier than usual. We had a gentleman drive down from Sydney and sell us his collection. It was a long drive for him, but he's a video watcher and he thought he'd come down here and sell us his collection. So do keep an eye on our website over the next week or three, and there'll be a whole bunch of stuff appearing.
So hey, hi Doug.
Oh yeah, hi Doug, if you're watching. Doug made his way back to Sydney
Safe and sound.
yesterday. I spoke to him on the phone this morning, so thanks for coming down, Doug. Right, so we will just jump into the news here so that Catherine can say her piece. Over to you.
So the news is out that the Vegemite $2 coins, the coloured ones, are being released through Woolworths. It's been a bit of a crazy time for Woolworths. So last Wednesday there was the first coin, the yellow coin, released. Oh yeah, I've got my Vegemite t-shirt on today, everyone. Probably can't quite see that very good. This is my Vegemite t-shirt. I'm getting into the Vegemite theme. So the first coloured $2 through Woolworths tills only, not available in collector packaging. The yellow one last Wednesday, the black one this Wednesday, followed by the red one the week after. Supposedly meant to be a limit of, I don't know, 5 through the tills. I'm not exactly sure. People seem to be very unclear. People seem to be getting bags and or multiples at request, so it just depends on who you get, who serves you at Woolworths, how lucky you are. I haven't been very lucky with my purchasing my entire hand of bananas, one banana at a time through the self-checkout. Hasn't been working well for me this time. So the mintages on the coins I've just had verified today, it was suggested 3 million, and the question was, is it 3 million per coin or 3 million in total? I can confirm the suggestion at the moment from the mint themselves is that it is 3 million in total. Reading between the lines, that's 1 million per coin type, but that will be confirmed once the reports are issued, the financial reports, that is. There's been no other communication about that.
I will just say that the person that replied to Catherine's message said that they expect to distribute 3 million coins through Woolworths, but no mention was made of distributing coins through other ways. So it was a little bit of I thought it was a bit of weasel words there, so I guess they could release them into circulation themselves and the mintage could be more than 1 million per coin based on those careful words that person gave you.
Oh, I didn't hear weasel words.
Oh, I saw weasel words.
It was through the tills. It must be some sort of agreement with Woolworths. I've been reading the Vegemite Facebook page. Vegemite is owned by Bega Cheese. Certainly Vegemite is very popular at the moment, including the Vegemite mint and proof sets. Seem to be flying out the door here in our shop.
You got anything else for us about Vegemite, Catherine?
I might go have some now.
You might go have some Vegemite now. Catherine's just joining us for the first part of the news today, so thank you, Catherine, for doing that. It's much appreciated.
Okay, I've got to get to the post office for Mike. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike. All right, see you, mate. Right, thank you, Catherine, for that. Let's just say a few hellos here to people that have commented. Hi, Alex, Aaron, Peter, Ogie, Joe, Sandra, Brad, Tanya, Mike, Ash, Gloria, Brett, Gwen, Michelle, Adam, let's see who else we've got here that we haven't said hello to. Another Peter, Cam, and Brian and David Trotter. How are you all going? Thank you. And James Rollison, glad you could join in, James. James, watch later. You'll get a mention a bit later. Again, I do apologise for not appearing last week. I just wasn't up to it, unfortunately. Right, what else is in the news this week? It looks like Commonwealth Bank really is putting an end to coin noodling. Thank you to one of our viewers who sent us through a screen cap of a post that was up in his Commonwealth Bank, just saying in July that the change machines would only be usable by people with a business debit card, a business credit card, or a business deposit only card. So no more using the change machines if you're just a private banker with the Commonwealth Bank. Now, I understand a lot of people will be upset about that, but of course, Commonwealth Bank have to keep making their huge profits every year, and spending time and money keeping noodlers happy isn't going to help them grow those profits. Those of you who are serious noodlers, you can of course enter into a financial agreement with a security company and get coins delivered if you like, but it will cost you money. So I suspect that other banks will roll that out very soon. Commonwealth Bank won't be the last one, I'm quite sure of it. AFL coins were released through Australia Post last week. So they were individual coins, one for each team, or in tubes of 20 coins with a folder. Release price was $45. 1 in 10 had 2 coloured coins, a AFLW or AFL men's coin in there. The Mince Press release said that they were the first AFL collectible coins that they'd released, but of course they're not. They released a $5 coin back in, I think it was 2005. That was in silver. It was an AFL coin. Then they released $2 coins, a Sydney Swans and Hawthorn coin that were available definitely on PNCs. I think at least one of them was available on a card. And then in 2015 they did the Guardians of the Game dollar coin as well. So they have released AFL coins before. They've been quite popular here in the shop. We did get a few from Australia Post. They're available in here at release price if you're here in Adelaide and want to drop in and pick one up. The Isle of Man, which is I guess a dependency of the UK. It's an island where, of course, they hold the motorbike race, the TT, every year. They have their own currency there, as well as circulating English coins, but they are an island of just a few tens of thousands of people, and they're thinking about getting rid of their 1p, 2p and 5p coins simply because people aren't really using them because the purchasing power is very low. So they're entering into an 8-week consultation period about actually getting rid of those coins on the island, and then they'll have to introduce some sort of system like we did when the 1 and 2 cent pieces were removed, where bills would be rounded up or rounded down, and of course only the totals can be rounded. You can't round the items individually. Interestingly enough, they haven't actually minted any 1p or 2p coins for the Isle of Man since 2016 because the minting cost is quite a bit more than the face value, which I thought was a really interesting fact there. Just a couple of comments here. Sandra says, Commonwealth Bank is changing the machines, only business account using machines, maximum of $50 over the counter. Hello Ronaldin, how are you? Gloria says, I has a friend who was given a 1911 gold half sovereign. She's not a collector and she's letting me see it. So yeah, thanks for that, Gloria, for sharing that with it. And Wayne says that the AFL coin is very disappointing. They look more like tokens. I think they look rather nice in the individual team folders, Wayne. I might have to snaffle a Crows one for myself. Now, I will just share Independent Coin News again this week. Independent Coin News is an online newsletter that is created by Peter Andrews, who I believe is watching today. It's a much bigger newsletter than I was expecting. We're coming up to just a couple of weeks away from the second issue of that. It is completely free. The Independent Coin News, the quality of the articles was excellent, apart from the ones that I did. They were terrible. So if you are interested in subscribing to a free and independent coin newsletter, then just head over to that URL that you can see there, or do a quick search on Facebook for the Independent Coin News, and join up for that. It's free. What's not to like? Peter knows his stuff, so please do get subscribed to that newsletter. Now, this story made me laugh. A widow in Luton in the UK, her husband died a few months ago, and she was cleaning up his possessions, and she found a coin collection in the bottom of their wardrobe. And over the ensuing weeks, she has found coins stashed all over the house. Turns out he was a bit of a closet coin collector, and probably a closet coin collector for almost 40 years. His collection was ended up lotted out and sold through a local auction house, about 140 different lots, valued conservatively at about £25,000. Now, the reason that it made me laugh is that we do get more than the odd person coming in here who only wants to pay with cash, so that their purchases don't show up on the credit card, so that their other half, be they a wife or husband, doesn't know what they're spending on coins. So it turns out that this collector in Luton had managed to keep his secret habit away from his wife, but she's cashing in on it now, selling his coins via auction. I believe they sold just a couple of days ago. So well done to that gentleman for hiding his hobby for so long, and congratulations to his wife for cashing in on it afterwards. Michelle says, ha ha ha, you're describing me with the closet collecting. Yeah, look, I do understand that people sometimes want to keep their habits away from their partners, but Catherine and I, we share with each other what we buy, and of course we can see each other's bank accounts, so there's no secrets there. Right, last news story for today was just really interesting because of a couple of reasons. One was that gold hit all-time highs in May of about 3,060 Australian dollars an ounce. Silver went up from about $34 an ounce to almost $38 an ounce in the first 2 weeks in May. So there's been a lot of gold and silver moving through this shop in the last few weeks. And interestingly, the Perth Mint did see a bit of an uptick in gold and silver sales month on month in April. Now, how much silver does the Perth Mint sell? Well, in April, they sold 1,947,743 ounces of silver, and they sold 75,166 ounces of gold. That is a lot of silver and a lot of gold. Now, it does sound like a lot, but to the same period for last year, both of those numbers are down almost 20%. So despite the rise in gold and silver prices this year, the sales are actually down quite a lot on last year. A lot of gold, a lot of silver. Right, next part of the video today, I will give thanks to Joel, who runs the History of Money channel on Instagram and YouTube. Not YouTube, sorry, TikTok. Sorry, I've got my social media mixed up there. And Joel had some slides on Insta last week about some recent price changes of key $2 coins, and I thought, oh, that was interesting. So last night I sat down and entered all of the sales for the last 6 months for 3 key $2 coins, and I popped them all into a graph, or a graph, depending on what part of the country you come from. And I thought it would be interesting to just have a look at those results. So the first one, you can see the graph there on the right. These are all the eBay auction results for the silver C Mint Mark Vietnam coin that was released at the beginning of April. Now, I only used 1 or 2 search terms. I could have probably popped up some more search results if I'd been a bit broader with my search terms. But there's the results there. So on the left side of the graph, you can see that's in and around release day. The price has gone up very quickly, just in the matter of a week or two. It's plateaued off, and it has actually started dropping now. Just auctions, Peter. I'm only recording auctions. I am a believer that auctions are a true indicator of value, because auctions are what people are willing to pay and try to grab a bargain, whereas bins sometimes do produce outliers, because you do get the occasional desperate person who is desperate for a coin for their collection and looking to add one, and will pay for it regardless of what the price is. So I will just add that that big spike there was a definite outlier. I suspect that that was probably a manipulated result. So what I've done there is plotted all of the auction results, and the red line is a 5 sale moving average, so you can get an idea of how the price is changing over time. So if we ignore that outlier there, that big outlier, then the peak of the boxed silver Vietnam coin was about $1,500, and currently it's sitting at about $1,050. So that is a 30% decrease. So that fits in with mine and lots of other people's suggestion that if you are going to buy these things, a lot of the time you are better off waiting a few months, because the price will settle back if you can't get one at release price. Next item is the 2018 $2 silver $2 30th anniversary set, which is that 12 coin set that includes restrikes of a number of the coloured $2 coins. There's the results there. So these are all of the auction results for the last 6 months. Again, just using a couple of search terms. I could have probably grabbed more auction results if I'd broadened my search terms a bit more. So we've got a peak there of about $1,350, which was in about November last year, November or December last year. And currently we're sitting at about, hang on, just let me make this bigger, about $900. So that is a 1/3 decrease in the market price of the 2018 30th anniversary $2 coin set. Aaron says he saw a 2018 set for sale yesterday in Morpeth, New South Wales for $16.50. Well, Aaron, I can tell you we've got one out in our front counter here, which is I think at least $250. The price on it is at least $250 less than what we paid for it. So, you know, this is what happens here in Coin Shop. We try to pay as fair prices as we can, and sometimes we get our fingers burnt if the market drops back, which clearly the market on these has. Now, I should just say that I haven't cherry-picked these coins. These are just the 3 key things that I thought of yesterday while I was searching for auction results. So the last one is the 2012 Red Poppy in the card, or the trifold, or the folder, or whatever term you want to use. So these are all the auction sales on eBay for the last 6 months. And you can see there we've got a peak of $848, which again is about in December. And currently the 5 sale moving average is sitting on $581. So that is a decrease of 31%. Now, my figures are a little bit, the drops are a little bit lower than what Joel had published on his History of Money channel. He was suggesting about 40%, but we are definitely looking at least a 30 to 35% drop in those key items. If I get time, I will look at some other items such as the Coronation C Mint Mark, and perhaps look at some rolls as well to see if that's going across the market as a whole. So, you know, what does this teach us as collectors? Well, it really does teach you a couple of things. Firstly is that these types of mint product are not really sound investments, simply because there's no real scarcity, and they are primarily driven by demand. The prices are primarily driven by demand. So I feel like the Vietnam coin, the silver and the aluminium bronze coin, has really brought a lot of uncertainty into the market. And if you are active on social media, you only need to look at the decrease in reactions and engagement that people that are selling the silver C Mint Mark Vietnam coin for, to realise a lot of people, I think, have turned away from those posts and have become quite discouraged. And I think that that is primarily the reason why the demand has dropped and the prices have dropped accordingly. They're not investments, they are just collectibles. Buy them if you like them, but don't buy them thinking that you will make money. You'd have to be dead lucky to be able to make money out of most of this stuff, unless you can get it at release price. Right, couple of weeks ago, someone asked me to do a bit of a show and tell on some things that have come in the shop recently. I haven't done this for a little while, so I thought I would just share some things today. Firstly, we've got this little pin here. Not sure if you can see that pin there. It's probably a bit bright. There we go. You see that pin there? So that is a little pin, and someone has soldered I think it's about a 11 or 12 gram gold nugget to the end of that pin to wear it as a piece of jewellery. The nugget tested at about 19.5 carats. So we haven't bought a nugget attached to a piece of jewellery before, so that was quite a neat little find. Just excuse me for 1 second. Bought that a few weeks ago. It's sitting on my desk. I don't know what we're going to do with it. I'm not sure how you can even tell how much gold is in there without pulling it apart, and I don't want to do that. Excuse me for a second again. I do apologise. I haven't been well for a week, so I'm just seeing that off. Right, so that's a great little nugget, gold nugget pin there. Now I shared this via a video last week, or the week before, I don't remember. It's a gold sovereign case, so we can just open it up here. You can put gold sovereign in there. Now, we've had these sorts of cases before. What makes this one unusual to us, at least, is it's actually 9 carat. We've not had a gold case before. We've had gold filled, and we've had silver, and we've had nickel. Just excuse me for a second. So this is quite special because it is a 9 carat gold case. First of the type that we've had. It's beautifully engraved with a monogram which says EMH. I'd like to know what that stands for, but I don't know. It is in beautiful condition. It's not dented. Often these are damaged. Why did people have sovereign cases? Because sovereigns were just money. A sovereign was just a pound, and people wanted to spend them, and they needed to carry them around. So quite a cute little sovereign case there. Now this is, if you have been watching my videos for a while, you know I do like my badges. We had an ex-South Australian policeman come in last week.
This is for Alex. This is from Alex Birkin.
Thanks, Alex. Catherine has brought me a cup of water. Thank you, Alex, for that. I better put that somewhere where I can't spill it on the computer. So we had a gentleman come in here last week who had served in the South Australian Police Force for almost 40 years, and he had a whole bunch of these obsolete cap badges that he was going to throw away, but he decided to come in here and see if he could get some money for them, and so he's brought in quite a few of those. They're beautiful enamelled silver plated or nickel plated things, so they are sitting quite nicely in my collection now, those South Australian Police badges. And James, who is watching today, I saw his name there before, James brought this in for me on Saturday, and to say I was pleased is an understatement. So what we have here is a 1995 Waltzing Matilda dollar coin. It's a C mint mark, I think. You know, it's not really a great, amazing thing. We've seen lots of things like that, but stuck to the back of it is this little plaque here, and it says, let me just make the screen larger so that I can read it. It says, "Thank you for marching Anzac Day in South Australia. March in our parade. May you always remember April 25th, 1998. Crew member, USS Ingersoll." So if you are in Australia, you would know well what Anzac Day is. It's the commemoration of the landings at Gallipoli on April 25th in 1915. Most cities and large towns around Australia have a march on that day where military veterans get to march and be acknowledged for their service to the country. Often, if there are international ships in the ports of the biggest cities, then those crews of those ships, naval ships, may get invited to march in the Anzac Day parade. In 1998, the USS Ingersoll was in port here in Adelaide, and their crew marched in the parade, and they were given one of these coins with this plaque attached to it. The USS Ingersoll was a Spruance class destroyer from the US Navy, and interestingly, it was decommissioned just a few months after Anzac Day. It was actually decommissioned in July 1998, so This cruise, when it was in Australia, may well have been its farewell cruise around the world, and its crew took part in Anzac Day. And now I know I will never see another one of those. And I do thank James for bringing that in and giving me the opportunity to purchase it. That will be a treasured part of my collection. So thank you for that, James. There's some strange things that we have bought. I'll just have a look at some comments. Stephen says, is it legal to buy South Australian police paraphernalia? Anything that is obsolete is legal to handle, Steve. Anything that is current is not legal to handle. So that's the rules about how it works. Hello, Antonius. Gloria says, are you selling any badges? I do sell the odd badge, Gloria, but they're generally not on display because it's just too much work and we don't have enough space. So I do sell the odd badge. Right. That's it. I'm done for today. I do apologise for the coughing if that came through. I was pressing the button on the top there that's supposed to switch this thing off, but clearly it wasn't. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for your patience for missing out last week. You'll be pleased to know the computer died just before we went live today, so the technical issues were solved before we went live. I'm glad it's worked out well for everyone. Thank you everyone for participating, asking questions. Thank you, Catherine, for bringing me water. I am feeling a lot better than I did last week. Thank you, Alex, for suggesting to Catherine that she bring me some water. Happy collecting. Bye for now, and we'll be back next week.